So just breathing in chair pose. You'll feel this burning in your thighs. We're going to work into our hips and our shoulders a little bit now. We're going to come into Garudasana. Go ahead and bend the right arm 90 degrees. Take your left arm underneath it. Less open shoulders, the backs of the hands can press together. If your shoulders are open enough, you can just set the palms to touch. Take your left leg, bring it up and over the right. So the toes can go ahead and set on the mat. If you have pretty stable balance, you can lift the toes off the mat. You can even wrap the foot around the ankle. So you're squaring yourself forward, and then just start to sink down. Drop your hips down. Feel this in your outer hips. Lift the fingertips up. Imagine you're trying to bring your elbows in line with your eyeballs. Really lovely stretch. Always breathing through the nose. And then go ahead and release. Back to chair pose. Back to chair pose. Pause for a few moments. See if you can feel a difference. The right side of the body should be a little bit looser, a little bit warmer. And everything we do to one side, we do to the other. So we'll bend the left arm 90 degrees. Take your right arm underneath. Take the right leg, bring it up and over. The foot can wrap the ankle if you'd like. As best you can, the shoulders and the hips square towards the top of your mat. Drop the hips down, lift the elbows, lift the fingertips up. And just feel this in your shoulders and your hips. Easy, steady breath. Releasing back to chair pose. See if you can feel each side of the body come into balance. And from here, we'll just go ahead and come to stand tall at the tops of our mat. We'll head into a standing balance pose, tree pose. Really wonderful balance pose. Begin by taking the sole of the right foot either to the calf or the inside of the thigh. And bring your palms to prayer at your heart. It'll help you to just find one spot to focus. Your drishti, your gazing point, starts off on the ground down in front of you, then you bring it up to your line of sight. Eventually you lift it up to the sky. So you're rooting yourself down through your left foot. If you want more, you can reach your fingertips to the sky. More still, you can even lift your gaze. Always, always breathing through your nose. Lift your heart to the sky, lift the top of the head to the sky. And then palms back to prayer. Set the right foot down. Shake it out a little bit. And we'll just take the other side. So we're going to take the left foot into the right thigh or the right calf. Bring your palms to prayer. So your right foot and your right leg is your base. Root yourself down into your heels. Spread the toes nice and wide. Release the tailbone down. And then maybe you reach the fingertips up to the sky once more, just like last time. You decide where your drishti, your gazing point is. It can be down, it can be forward, or it can be up. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and come on out. Maybe shake out that right leg. And we're going to close our flow. As I mentioned, this is an abbreviated version of the flow, but we're going to close the flow with one more cycle of Surya Namaskar A. Breathe in, reach up, palms touch. Breathe out, dive forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, plant your palms, step yourself back. Lower down to Chaturanga. Inhaling up dog. Exhaling back. So now that we're done with the flow portion of the class, we're going to head into some hip openers and some folds to just cool things down and release the body. Let's start off with pigeon pose. Breathe in, reach the right leg high. Lift it up and back behind you. And then as you breathe out, bring your right knee to your right wrist. So mindful of what's happening in your knee here. As your hips open, the shin comes more towards parallel to the top of the mat. You're going to walk your left toes back, square your torso, and then just start to lower yourself down. You can come onto your forearms. You can untuck those left toes. Eventually, you can release the weight of the body all the way down onto the right leg. So this is a time when you get to check in with your body. The practice of yoga is really about just that. It's always staying connected to your body, using your breath as a tool to gauge what's going on in the body. So the breath should always be easy, even here. Just easy, even breaths. We'll take one more breath. And then we'll set the palms under the shoulders. Go ahead and tuck the left toes under and press yourself back. Press yourself back to downward facing dog. Take a couple moments here to just gently bend the legs. Paddle them one at a time. Maybe you can feel a difference in the right and the left side of the body. Right hip a little bit more warm and loose. Inhale, lift the left leg high, reach it up and back behind you. Exhale, left knee to left wrist. You adjust your foot, what's comfortable for your knee. Walk the right toes back. Square your torso, your shoulders and your hips as best you can. And then just go ahead and release yourself down. So, slowly lowering the weight of the torso down onto that left front leg. You might notice that the right side of the body tends to want to pop itself up. Square your hips down. And as we head towards the close of our practice, start to draw your awareness inside your body. Use your breath to calm the mind. And then just feel the opening, releasing in your left hip. Palms back under the shoulders, tuck the right toes under. Slide that left foot back. We'll head back to downward facing dog. This time, as you just kind of gently bend the legs, see if you can feel the left hip and the right hip open. Okay, now we're just going to walk the feet up to the top of the mat. We're going to come to set ourselves down for some seated poses, beginning with Dandasana, staff pose. So you're just going to straighten out your legs, flex your toes back. You can even walk your heels forward a little bit. Breathing in, reach the arms up and overhead. Breathing out, fold out over your legs. Lead with your heart as you fold. You're going to keep your toes flexed back. You can grab hold of your feet or your calves or your ankles. In a vinyasa flow practice, the breath is still very relevant here. It's the center of the practice. You're moving with your breath, inhaling, the top of the head is coming towards the toes, so the spine's getting longer. Exhaling, the torso is coming in towards the legs. Just a couple more breaths here. Inhaling, spine gets longer. Exhaling, fold. We'll take one more breath just like that. Inhale. And exhale. And then coming up, we'll come up for a seated twist. Twists are really wonderful ways to clear out the back. You're going to keep your left leg straight and just cross the right leg on top. The right hand's going to come back behind you to support the spine. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale, just start to slide the left elbow down outside your right thigh. And now we're going to move with the breath here. As you breathe in, reach the top of the head up towards the sky. As you breathe out, turn to look over that right shoulder. Keep moving with your breath. Inhale, opening up space between the vertebra and the back. Exhale, deeper into the twist. Keep your left toes flexed back. 2 more breaths. Your entire body stays active, even in these seated poses. Wonderful. We'll go ahead and release. We're going to take the same pose on the other side. Right leg sets down. Left leg crosses over. Left hand back behind you. Breathe in. Reach the right arm up. Breathe out. Draw the right elbow down outside the knee. And just keep moving with your breath. Inhaling. Spine gets tall. Exhaling. Twist. Inhaling, spine gets tall. Exhaling, twist. 2 more breaths. All right, coming back out, we're going to take Gomukhasana next. So since the right leg's on bottom, you're just going to cross your right leg underneath your left. There's a couple ways to get deeper into the pose. You can take your hands and draw your knees. Ultimately, what you want to try to do is draw the knees to stack. You can bring your hands initially to your feet to help feel yourself root your sit bones down. So everybody's built a little bit differently. Sometimes your knees might splay out a little bit wider. You should feel this in your hips and your IT bend. Arms, right arm reaches up and over your head. Left arm comes down the back. Maybe you take hold of your fingers. Maybe you take hold of your shirt. And on the inhale, you're just going to pull yourself up nice and tall, grounding into the sit bones, reaching up through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold, lead with your heart out over your legs. So still mindful of the breath. Inhaling, spine gets long. Exhaling, deeper into the fold. 2 more breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. And as I mentioned before, drawing your awareness inside your body for the close of your practice. Feel this in your hips, feel this in your shoulders. Wonderful. And then we're just going to come on up and switch sides. So same pose, other side. However you want to uncross the legs and recross them. Left leg on bottom, right leg on top. You can just kind of scoot your knees so that the knees come to stack. Maybe palms rest on your feet as you root yourself down. Feel both sit bones connect down. And then left arm up and over, right arm down and under. Maybe you take your fingers, maybe you take your shirt. The left elbow is eventually coming right up to point right towards the sky. The head and the arm connect and they touch. Inhale, pull yourself up nice and tall. Exhale, fold out. Lead with your heart out over your legs. Breathing in, get nice and long in the spine. Breathing out, fold. Inhaling and exhaling. 2 more breaths. Wonderful. We're going to come on up and we're going to close our practice with the seated meditation pose. So maybe legs comfortably crossed is good for you. Maybe you want to take yourself into full or half lotus. Take something that feels comfortable for your body, comfortable for your knees and your back. Let your palms come to rest on your knees. And we're just going to close our eyes and come to sit tall. So awareness is again with the breath. And as you come to close your practice, see if you can notice the differences, the effects in your body. Your physical body at the end of your yoga practice should be released. And the effects of the breath, mind is clear. So this is going to close our practice this evening. We're just going to settle in for a meditation, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. Feel that sense of peace and space that comes with your practice.